The clock turned in the electric vehicle sector in the United States. When the $7,500 subsidy ended on September 30th, the entire market was on alert. Traditional automakers slowed, consumers hesitated, and the race for an affordable electric car seemed to have lost steam. But Elon Musk, rarely one to misstep in the game of strategic anticipation, saw this turnaround as an opportune moment. Instead of launching the highly anticipated Tesla Model 2 in July, as promised, he held back. The reason? To prevent the new model from cannibalizing sales of the already established Model Y and Model 3, still boosted by the tax incentive. This calculated choice turned the tide. While other brands were scaling back investments in electric cars, Tesla was quietly playing chess. The company focused its efforts on selling its most expensive models while the tax credit was still active. And it worked. Nearly 500,000 Teslas were delivered in the third quarter, 2/3 of them Model Ys. But this move wasn't just to close the quarter with aggressive numbers. It was meticulous preparation for something bigger. With the subsidies gone, Tesla knew demand for its premium models would decline. And that's where the Model 2 entered the scene with full force. Now, with the market cooling and competitors like GM, Ford, and Volkswagen slowing down, Tesla finds itself practically alone on the battlefield. The lack of a tax credit, which once seemed like a hindrance, has become a perfect opportunity for Tesla to launch its most powerful weapon, an electric car under $14,000. Yes, you read that right. The Model 2 is expected to arrive with an estimated price of just as $13, $579, becoming the most affordable EV in the West, and a logistical nightmare for brands that still rely on high margins to stay afloat. That price alone would be enough to make headlines. But Tesla's timing makes the move even bolder. With the end of the incentive, the market is bereft of affordable options, and consumers, who rushed to take advantage of the subsidy, now face a shortage of competitive offerings. Tesla is surgically filling this void, positioning the Model 2 as a lifesaver for those who still want to embrace the electric era without breaking the bank. And what's more, the possible arrival in November creates enough anticipation to set the industry's forums and social networks ablaze. Behind the scenes, the movement indicates that Tesla is preparing for something big. Executives are avoiding details, but interviews are already circulating where it's been hinted that production is ready to scale at an industrial pace. Franz von Holzhausen, Tesla's chief design officer, recently stated that they are ready to deliver a rich experience at a much lower cost. None of this would have been possible if the launch had occurred during the peak of subsidized sales. Musk waited, not for chance, but for precision. Musk's move is less about price and more about pace. Instead of competing for attention when everyone else is buying, he launches his offering when others are holding back. This not only ensures greater visibility, but also allows the Model 2 to be perceived as the savior of a market in recession. This perception of an affordable last hope should attract even undecided consumers, those still stuck with combustion engines or waiting for the right moment to switch to electric vehicles. Another intriguing detail is the symbolic number of launch units that Elon Musk has been letting slip behind the scenes, 11,111. A strange number for a conventional launch, but perfectly in line with Musk's provocative style. This isn't just a new car, this is a complete repositioning of Tesla in the electric game. And while rivals are still digesting the impact of the tax credit's end, Musk has already prepared the next blow, with optimized margins, scale, and operating costs. There's no doubt that the Model 2 is coming to shake up the market. But the most curious thing is to realize that Tesla's biggest asset in this move isn't even the car itself, but rather the timing, the choice to launch an entry-level vehicle. After the end of the incentives shows how confident the company is in its structure, its logistics, and, most importantly, the public's perception of the brand. A car that costs less than a top-of-the-line iPhone, arriving just when everyone thought electric cars were getting too expensive. The first concrete clues about the Model 2 began to emerge subtly, like someone releasing smoke to announce the impending outbreak of fire. In September, several images and videos circulated online, showing camouflaged prototypes being tested near the Fremont, California, factory. At first glance, it looked like just another variation of the Model 3 or a new edition of the Model Y, but upon closer inspection, it became clear that this was no redesign. The car was noticeably more compact, lower, and had a shortened rear end, the typical hatchback profile never before seen in the brand's catalogs. The external changes, however subtle they seemed, revealed something much deeper. This wasn't a facelift or a restyling, but a completely new project emerging from the shadows. The front of the vehicle wore an unusual disguise with deliberately hidden lines. The underside was completely flat, with no protrusions, suggesting refined aerodynamics focused on efficiency. And the most striking detail? The prototypes were being tested on public roads, something Tesla only does once the car has passed the critical engineering phase. If it's on the road, it's because the skeleton is ready. What these tests reveal is that Tesla is no longer theorizing about the Model 2. The project has moved beyond the drawing board and the lab. The structure has been validated, the car's body is defined, and the next steps involve fine-tuning, real-time data collection, and adapting the onboard systems. No exaggerated renderings or promises for 3 years from now. The Model 2 is literally out there, almost invisible, but completely real. And this changes everything, because it shows that the launch is closer than many people believed. Internally, production will be done at Giga Texas, using the most daring assembly process Tesla has ever introduced, the so-called unboxed process. This is a completely new production line, unveiled in September, that radically changes the way a car is assembled. Instead of passing through a long line with dozens of sequential steps, the Model 2 will be assembled in independent modules, which come together at the end in a matter of seconds. It's a kind of full-scale industrial Lego, where each part of the car is prepared simultaneously before being fused into a single body. This method isn't just different, it represents a game-changer for the automotive industry. By adopting the unboxed process, Tesla eliminates classic bottlenecks in mass production, such as waiting between steps or the high time and labor costs of linear processes. This allows the production pace to be drastically accelerated while maintaining quality and reducing operating costs. And because the Model 2 is a car designed for volume, this means it can be delivered at scale without generating endless waiting lists like the Model 3. The very appearance of the prototypes on the streets reinforces Tesla's confidence in the project. Putting a car that hasn't yet been released onto open roads is a high-risk gamble. Any glitch, strange noise, or visible defect can generate a wave of suspicion and negative headlines. But if the company is willing to do this, it's a sign that the vehicle is already at a very advanced stage. Camouflage during testing may hide the final look, but it doesn't mask the robustness of the structure or the maturity of the onboard engineering. The car is being refined, not built from scratch. Another important point is that the design adopted for the Model 2 seems to reflect the brand's new philosophy, to be more direct, functional, and accessible without losing its identity. The hatchback format is ideal for those living in urban areas with limited parking space and looking for a practical vehicle for everyday use. Unlike the Model S or X, which carry a more futuristic and luxurious aura, the Model 2 aims to be that everyday electric car, simple on the outside, efficient on the inside, and revolutionary overall. Tesla's silence on official channels is also revealing. Instead of announcing everything with fanfare, Elon Musk seems to be pursuing a quieter strategy, letting curiosity and leaks do the marketing work. This creates an atmosphere of anticipation that fuels the launch. The public sees the prototypes, comments, shares, and speculates. And without realizing it, the car is already the center of attention even before it's officially revealed. Inside the Giga Texas facility, the frenetic pace of preparation is no longer a secret. Tesla is betting big on the so-called unboxed production line, and the Model 2 will be the first to emerge from this new manufacturing ecosystem. The proposal is simple on paper but revolutionary in practice. Build the different parts of the car separately: frame, battery, drivetrain, body, and only then put them all together like a giant jigsaw puzzle. This eliminates several intermediate steps of traditional assembly, reduces costs, and, most importantly, speeds up manufacturing time per vehicle. It's a unique industrial approach that completely changes the game for anyone looking to mass-produce a cheap car. The forecast is that, once fully operational with this new system, Giga Texas will be able to assemble a car every 5 to 10 seconds. It seems exaggerated, but that's the kind of number Elon Musk likes to chase. And even if the average is around one car every 10 seconds, annual production could easily exceed 500,000 units. This speed changes the math for Tesla and for the entire industry. Until now, manufacturing 500,000 affordable vehicles in a single year was the preserve of giants like Toyota or VW. Now, Tesla wants to do it with a next-generation electric model and a tight profit margin. The impact of this on delivery times is brutal. Internal estimates are that the time between clicking the buy button and the car being delivered to your door will drop to about 2 to 3 weeks, a quarter of the current average delivery time for a Model 3 or Model Y. This eliminates consumer frustration with long waits and makes the purchasing process nearly instantaneous. And when a cheap product is also fast, the desire becomes even more accessible. Few brands can promise this today, and none are close to guaranteeing similar delivery in the short term. But agility alone doesn't guarantee success if costs aren't controlled. And that's where Tesla's other trump card comes in: scale. A factory that cost $1 billion to build becomes much more efficient if it produces 500,000 cars instead of just 100,000. The fixed cost per unit plummets, and the final price to the consumer can be reduced without compromising profitability. In the case of the Model 2, the promise of a starting price of $13,579 only holds if production is truly mass, and Tesla seems to have all the pieces to achieve that. In addition to the new assembly line, the company is also revamping its supply chains and logistics. This includes establishing local partnerships for battery supply, reducing the distance between parts factories and assembly points, and using cheaper, more durable materials. One focus is replacing expensive components with simpler, yet equally efficient, alternatives. All of this, combined, ensures that the Model 2's manufacturing costs are the lowest in the company's history, and possibly the most competitive in the global electric vehicle market. The battery, for example, is one of the main savings points. Although Tesla hasn't officially confirmed it, there are persistent rumors that the Model 2 will use cheaper cells, with a different chemistry than traditional NMC, nickel-manganese-cobalt cells. This opens up room for cost savings without compromising range too much. And since the model is geared towards urban use, a mid-range battery with ultra-fast charging may be enough to convince a large portion of the public. Another silent but decisive factor is software. With Tesla's increasingly optimized operating system, it's also possible to save on physical components. Many buttons and controls have been eliminated in the latest models, replaced by a digital interface. This not only reduces production costs, but also facilitates maintenance and after-sales. The Model 2 should follow this same logic, which makes sense for a car focused on simplicity, efficiency, and scale. The combination of these elements, ultra-fast production, logistics cuts, modular design, simplified battery life, and lean software, forms the foundation that underpins the Model 2's promise. And everything indicates that this foundation is no longer a distant plan, but a structure already in place. All that remains now is to turn the key and let the production line do its job. And when that happens, the impact on the market will be immediate, especially for those who still think electric cars are for the elite. While the world is still trying to figure out how Tesla plans to deliver a car under $14,000, another piece of this machinery is beginning to take shape: full autonomy. And we're not talking about range in kilometers, but rather driving autonomy, the famous drive-alone mode. Elon Musk is paving the way to equip the Model 2 with the new version of the long-awaited full self-driving system FSD V14, that Rota No-Chip AI5, currently in final production. This update could transform the Model 2 into not only the cheapest electric car in its class, but also the smartest. The difference between FSD V13, which is already being tested in some current Teslas, and V14 is stark. The new version promises to process 40 times more simultaneous variables than the previous system, which in practice means much faster reactions, safer decisions, and an ability to read the environment close to that of an attentive human being. In fact, according to Musk, the car will even be 10 times safer than an average driver, reaching up to 5 million miles without being involved in an accident. It's a huge leap for someone who still sees autopilot as a limited toy. The idea is clear: transform the Model 2 into a thinking car. It doesn't just react to basic traffic situations, but anticipates scenarios, predicts other drivers' behavior, and adapts to complex environments with fluidity. This intelligence will be possible thanks to the AI5 chip, which was specifically designed to support the processing required by FSD V14. This chip will operate as the car's brain, making real-time decisions based on thousands of simultaneous data points. A change that goes far beyond software. It's a new level of cognition for machines on wheels. The implementation of this system in the Model 2 shows that Tesla doesn't want it to be just the cheap car of the moment. The goal is to create an entry-level model that's already prepared for the autonomous driving revolution. This completely changes the perceived value of the car. After all, it's not just the list price that matters, but what it delivers. Imagine buying an affordable vehicle that has the same level of autonomous driving as luxury models. This could appeal to everyone, from college students to urban logistics companies or mobility apps seeking large-scale efficiency. Most surprisingly, Tesla has already begun offering a sneak peek at FSD V14, a free 3-month trial of the V13 version for new Tesla owners. This serves as a warm-up, a free sample before the main course, and the reception is already positive, even among the most skeptical. With the arrival of the V14, the feeling of being in a car with self-awareness should intensify even further. Musk has already stated that it will be like driving with a co-pilot who never blinks. It may sound exaggerated, but Tesla's track record shows that these technological leaps are usually followed by practical demonstrations soon after. If all goes according to plan, the launch of the Model 2 with FSD V14 could be the turning point in transforming fully autonomous driving from a futuristic promise to a common feature in mainstream cars. This would create a chasm between Tesla and its competitors, which are still struggling to develop their own autonomous driving systems. While other automakers are presenting prototypes and plans for 5 years from now, Tesla is delivering a fully intelligent car ready to drive as early as 2025. But there's an even bolder piece on the table: the possibility of the Model 2 serving as the official demonstration platform for FSD V14. This would be a masterstroke in marketing and strategic positioning. Instead of showcasing the technology in a luxury car, like the Model S Plaid, Musk would present the system in an affordable car. This would reinforce the message that autonomous driving is ready for everyone, not just millionaires.